Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my journey and experience trying to heal my wrist injury of Quervains Tenosynovitis. If you're watching this video, chances are you are also trying to heal your own injury before resorting to surgery, just like I am. This video is going to be part one in a series where I'm experimenting with peptides, specifically BPC-157 and TB-500, known as the combo, the Wolverine Stack. I'm going to see if I can use this to see if it'll heal it before I resort to surgery. Now, this video is not going to be a tutorial or a how-to or anything like that. It's not medical advice. This is just me talking about my experience because upon my research and looking on the internet, it seems like there are a couple of other people trying this, and there's a whole Reddit substack on Quervains. So there's a lot of people with this injury that are desperate to try and fix it without surgery because it can be painful. So first, let's talk about how I even got this injury. Right now, this is actually the second time I've had it. The first time happened in late fall of 2024 with our first child. Our daughter was about 11 months old, and me and my family were traveling at the time as a family, digital nomads. We were in El Salvador, and I was surfing, hitting the gym a lot, just a lot of activity with my wrist. I remember one day we were going really heavy in the gym with chest, and I just felt something kind of pop in my wrist. And at first I felt nothing of it. This is not uncommon that this happens in the gym, but it kept getting worse. And by week 2 or 3, the pain was getting increasingly bad and worse. And specifically, it hurt right in this little socket area where your tendon and ligament is. And so then I started doing research, and I figured out all my symptoms really aligned with Quervains Tenosynovitis. It's hard to pronounce that word, but essentially another word for this condition is like mommy's thumb. It's very common with new parents that carry their child in a certain way, very repetitive actions with your wrist. You're trying to do stuff with your child. You're multitasking with one arm and you have them carried in another arm and you're wrapping your wrist like this. And doing that a lot with a lot of weight on it can trigger this injury. And so at the time we were traveling and I didn't really have access to like any wrist or orthopedic surgeons. I didn't think it was that bad. So we were traveling up until January. We went to Mexico, the United States. And at the time I didn't have health care for the United States because my family lives in Portugal. So for these 3 months, I just took it easy. I wasn't lifting heavy in the gym. I wasn't surfing, which really sucked. But I was just trying to let it heal. And I had to start sleeping with a wrist splint at night, which I'm sure if you're watching this video and you have the injury, you're also probably doing the same. And if you aren't, definitely do that. Get yourself a wrist splint that stabilizes your thumb. That'll help relieve the pain when sleeping at night. But by the time we got back to Portugal in January, I finally went and saw a orthopedic surgeon at CUF Hospital, and they did the cortisone injection. So they do a cortisone injection, and this is an anti-inflammatory injection, and that actually did a fantastic job. Within 5 days, the pain was totally gone, and I think within 2 or 3 weeks, I was back in the gym lifting, and it was like I got my life back. It was so amazing because I'm someone who goes to the gym 5 days a week, every day. I'm pretty disciplined about it, so when I can't exercise, I get depressed and grumpy. But that was amazing. That shot healed it. And I was so psyched. And I just remember like when me and my wife were planning to have our second child, I'm like, all right, remember, when you have your second baby, do not make the same mistake of holding your baby incorrectly. Keep your wrist straight. If you're holding them with one arm, don't bend your wrist. And sure enough, we just had our last child back in October. And within 3 or 4 weeks, I started feeling that pain in the gym again. And it actually didn't even click at first. I just thought it was pain from the gym. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh shit, this is like the same pain that I experienced the first time. So I was like, dang it, it's back. And sure enough, it kept getting worse. But this time I stopped working out right away as soon as I noticed it. And in terms of like any heavy exercises with my wrist. And so, yeah, it sucks. It came back. And, so that was late 2024. So it didn't come back as strong. It's not as painful as it was the first time. So this time I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm researching, I'm going on the subreddits, and reading about everyone's experiences, and lots of people actually had, not lots of people, plenty of people had really good experience with surgery. The only con to surgery is that it is risky. Maybe they nick a tendon or a nerve. Maybe you don't get full 100% use of your and flexibility of your wrist. So there is some risk to it. And I want to avoid that as much as possible and try and heal it the natural way, as I'm sure hopefully you will too. So yeah, and then a friend recently told me about peptides, specifically BPC-157 and TB-500, aka the Wolverine Stack. These peptides are short amino acid chains, and this one specifically is geared towards healing tendons, ligament injuries, muscular, anything like that. So I did a bunch of research. This went down the rabbit hole, looking at different podcasts, and I got pretty hopeful. And I saw a couple of posts online of people that had tried to use peptides, but nothing conclusive. So I thought, this seems like a pretty affordable way to try and solve the problem. I might as well try this first for a couple months and see if it will work. Now, other options, if I didn't want to try peptides, I could get another cortisone injection, but I've heard that getting a second one, the likelihood of it actually helping goes down quite a bit, and it can also be bad for your skin and everything else. It's just not a good idea to keep doing these cortisone injections. So I want to try peptides because I also have another injury right now that I'm dealing with, which is inner elbow tendonitis. And this, I think I got this injury from doing too many pull-ups and compensating for this wrist injury, because I was doing this protocol where I do 100 pull-ups at least once a week. And that's just a lot of pull. And I think because my thumb is injured, when I do the grip on the bar, I was like compensating for it. And I think that created the injury in my elbow. So I'm also hoping that the peptides will heal this as well. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already been researching peptides. So I'm not going to do a deep dive on these peptides, but let's just give a quick summary for those who haven't. So BPC-157 is known as a body protection compound. It's a peptide your body already naturally produces in small amounts in your gut. Research suggests it can help speed up healing for muscles, tendons, and ligaments by increasing the blood flow and reducing inflammation. TB-500 works synergistically with BPC-157. It's known as thymosin beta 4. And this is another peptide that works with BPC-517, like I was talking about. There is a little bit of risk with it in terms of the blood flow that it increases. So let's say you have maybe like a cancer that's growing in your body. And if this is increasing blood flow to anywhere in your body where there's injuries, that can actually speed up the growth of a tumor or cancer that you might have. Just to be safe, it's recommended by other professionals I've researched that you go and do a scan for any cancers in your body. That's what I did. I went and did a full scan, blood test and everything, and that came back safe. So I went and did that. But overall, the risk profile of peptides is said to be really low, especially compared to some other medicines out there. A lot of athletes will use this too to help promote cell regeneration, tissue repair, and recovery. Now, just so you know, these are not FDA approved. So yeah, use it at your own risk. And just a disclaimer, this is not medical advice. This is just based on my own personal experience and my research. I'm probably not even doing the best job explaining it all, but just trying to give you a summary. So as far as the peptide protocol and plan, what does that entail? How do you take it? How often? For how long? Well, for ligament and tendon and muscular injuries, it is recommended that you do injections, like with a shot, a syringe, just because that will help distribute the medicine to the areas that need it instead of taking it orally. Now, if you're experiencing gut issues and you want to take BPC-157 for your gut issues, then take it orally, no problem at all. So for me, I'm taking BPC-157. You take it once a day. I'm taking it for 8 weeks, so that's a daily injection. For TB-500, I'm taking this twice a week for 4 weeks. And the reason I'm only taking it for 4 weeks is because it's pretty expensive. I think I spent around 500 euros. Again, I live in Portugal, so euros for the entire thing. 2 months, 8 weeks of BPC-157 and 1 month of TB-500. That came around to 500 euros. If I was going to take 2 months of TB-500, the price would have gone up to almost 1,000. And I didn't want to quite invest that much yet until I see how well it works. In terms of where you order it, that's something you want to be conscious of too. When you order these peptides, make sure you're getting it from a reputable supplier, because since it's not regulated or FDA approved, pretty much anyone can sell it on their website, and peptides are, I guess, kind of trending right now. So there's probably plenty of vendors out there who are not selling legit peptides. So some things you want to look out for is making sure that the peptides that you're buying have a COA certificate, a certificate of analysis, and that'll come through like a third party, and it comes with like a lot number on it. Ideally, it includes HPLC purity. You'll often see over 98%, a mass spec confirmation, and sterility and endotoxin results. So you want to make sure that it comes with that certificate of analysis, making sure it's legit. You're going to want to make sure you get a lyophilized freeze-dried powder form. It comes in a sealed vial. This is 10 milligrams. This is the thymosin beta 4, if you can see that. And then you're also going to need to get syringes and alcohol pads. And like I said, the BPC-157, it comes in like a powder form, so you have to reconstitute it with bacteriostatic mixing water. And so this is all stuff I had to buy. I got a lot of it from my pharmacy. Here in Portugal, I couldn't find the bacteriostatic water, so I had to order that online. I just ordered it on Amazon from a reputable supplier, but like the syringes, alcohol pads, all that stuff, I got that from a pharmacy. And for the peptides, I ordered it off of particlepeptides.com. They were one of the highest reviewed, most recommended suppliers over here in Europe. If you're in the United States, I'm sure there are plenty of more options. But yeah, so just make sure that if you do buy it, make sure you're buying from a legit supplier, certificate of analysis, check the reviews, check everything, make sure it's legit. Let's see, what else? I think that covers about everything about the peptides that I wanted to talk about. It. Like I said, I'm not a medical professional. I just been doing research over the past couple months. So if this is something you're curious in, do your research, look up videos on how to take it through injections. Now, I actually hate needles. I'm not a big fan of getting shots, but I'm so motivated to try and heal this injury because it's so annoying and painful, and I can't give it my all in the gym, and I haven't been able to surf because of it. So I'm really motivated to fix this. So with the shots, I'm like, I don't even care. Boom, done. And I think you get over it. So make sure you look at video tutorials on how to do the injection in terms of dosing and everything. AI is also a good tool, but make sure you're looking it up by professionals. Now, as far as expectations go, like I'm hopeful that this will work, but I know chances are that it might not heal it all the way, because with Quervains tendinositis, like, you know, it's basically inflammation of the sheath that goes around your tendon right here. And so I know it's not guaranteed to help resolve it. There's not a lot of posts online saying that it will, but that's why I'm making this video, to see if it will. Because if you're out there and you're wondering if there's another way that you can try and heal it, hopefully that this will. I am very stoked to see what the results are. But yeah, that is the plan. 8 weeks, BPC-157, an injection every day, and TB-500, 2 injections weekly. And yep, I'm going to be documenting throughout this journey how the pain goes with my inner elbow tendonitis and the Quervains. So if you are also dealing with Quervains tendonitis, or you're just curious on how the peptides are going to heal, hit subscribe, follow along. And if you're curious about anything or have questions, leave a comment down below and I will respond. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.